Hey guys, it's Daniel Dessinger again with SearchMatters.com, and today we are looking at a consulting website. It is RockConsulting.group. Now, how did I get to this particular website? I went to a private browser tab and I searched Rock Consulting. There's just two words that it came to me, so I searched. This came up. And now we're going to take a look at their mobile website. So here we go. The first impression I get from this website as a brand new visitor, that they offer business consulting, because that's the big white text. Something that's oddly arranged, but somehow still a little effective, is the gap between the first two words of the header and then the second two. So you have business consulting, comma, and then there's this line gap. But then it's your way. And it's like a pause for emphasis. So they're trying to emphasize that their business consulting will adapt to your needs or your business. All right, so the first thing we see here, now the number one issue that I'm having, actually I have a couple issues here. So my first impression is that I know this is about business consulting, but a second impression is that it's not very professional. It's not professionally designed, because this image between the white background and the brownish background, there is an image that can be barely seen. And I don't know if I can, I tapped on it. So this is the image that's actually below. It's probably visible on a desktop image, but whoever designed this website, when they created it, they most likely designed it for a laptop desktop view. This is how it ends up looking in a mobile view. So it crops the image in a certain way that blocks all meaningful visible imagery. And so I just see like the top, what was that? Top of a computer screen. All right, so that's just the top of the computer screen, the top of somebody's head, and I don't even know that until I tap on the image. So we don't really know what's going on. Second of all is the logo is dark and it's tiny. The font is so tiny I can't read it. This may be legible on a desktop, but again, with modern day, especially with WordPress and other publishing platforms, you should be able, like I know you can with WordPress, especially different specific themes, like a Generate Press or a Cadence theme, many others, Elementor options as well. You can select a different version of your logo for the mobile website than the desktop version, so that if you want a much larger, or if the small print looks great on desktop but then it shrinks too much, you can have a different formatted logo or larger font for your logo for mobile, so that people can tell what you're about. Because I see rock, there is no chance I'm going to know what those words are beneath the word rock, and immediately I can't really tell what I'm looking at. It kind of looks like an image of almost like a flying saucer or a mushroom top. I can't tell what the image is. It's pretty small. Also, I always prefer the logo to be on the left and the menu to be on the right. So I would have these swapped. Okay. Also, I've tapped the menu. As you can see, there are no navigational options. Get in touch, if it's going to be the only option, should be at the top. It shouldn't, or in the middle, should not be at the bottom, because that requires, basically it emphasizes that there should be some navigation here and there's not, and it just makes it feel empty and void and like it's an incomplete website. And why that matters is if I visit a website and it feels incomplete, then they're not professional enough for me to pay them to do anything for me. That's the whole point. So whenever you hear a criticism of how professional a site does or doesn't look, know that the context is, I have to be confident in the website in order to consider ever hiring them and giving them money to perform a service for me. All right, so we're going to keep scrolling. Grow it. There's a gray get in touch. I would say the gray button is a bad choice, simply because it doesn't match. First of all, if you're going to have a button that doesn't match the colors of your layout, it should be a bright color, so it really calls attention to the button, because the whole goal is to have people tap that button. Our services, then there's a black circle. Don't know what that's about. Team build. Oh, so now we have a theme of different colored images. There's the circle, then the wave, then the vertical lines. team building, startup, short-term, project-based, long haul, bookkeeping. Get in touch. We have 2 women. They're holding books. I'm curious if I know. I can't read that. It's blurry now. Let's see if I can read her book. Treasure Island. Maybe they're showing us their favorite books. I'm not sure. Don't see how that's really relevant. Then we have Meet the Team. So there is one person. There's the second. All right. So takeaway from this particular review, there appears to be no pages other than whatever their contact form is going to be when I click Get in Touch and this homepage. And that's not the end of the world. It's okay. Some websites, because everything that they do has nothing to do with content creation on the web, so they don't need to have they don't need a blog, they don't need to have other resources necessarily. Now, granted, you're never going to win at SEO this way because there's just nothing for a search engine to rank you for. So, except perhaps your name. So the names of the people, maybe with the word consulting or business consulting, those might show up in Google. But other than that, a single page website, the number one detractor for a single page website, it is difficult for it to rank for more than the brand name or the name of people that if they're included on that page, because you're just not showcasing subject matter expertise on any topic on your homepage. But it is also really convenient. The trade-off is that it's really user-friendly to be able to get everything quickly. The one way you can get around this to do kind of both is that some people, when you tap on that menu, they will have About Us and services or features. And when you tap on those links, it'll just scroll you down to that part of the page. And, it's at least gives the appearance of having a really tightly knit single page website. Other than that, I will say that you have an email. Let's see, do you have an email address? They have an email address listed here underneath Contact Us. Now we're going to hit the button. Okay, so what that's going to do is not going to lead me to a page. It's going to embed their email address inside a blank email using my Apple Mail. So I'm not going to go through that right now. So it is literally a single page website. The only things that I'm going to know about this company is this paragraph right here tells me basically everything, because that's the most text they have on for the whole business. So they come from a perspective of experience. We've started, bought, sold, and expanded small businesses. If you have a problem, we have experience with it. Okay. All right. So they have some experience, but they're not demonstrating it. They're giving you some ideas of ways they could be helpful. I feel like our problem here is that we're using up a lot of space on the screen for just a little bit of text, a bizarre image that doesn't really fit. It's not thematic to the words, so I don't know why they're there. Here's my guess. Having worked on so many themes, I would guess that they bought a theme that was pre-designed. It came with this kind of a layout. They just replaced the kind of templated words with their own. And these little squiggly lines or something, or these were options that were either present or just, they could choose from a small select list of icons. And then they plugged in their different benefits or different ways they might be useful. I don't think it's not on brand. It doesn't really bookkeeping with the $sign. Yes, but I mean, honestly, if that $sign was going to be center stage in the square and a much larger symbol, then at least it gets my attention. And probably it should be green, because then money sign that's green, everybody associates that with money. It's a little bit more attention grabbing. Doesn't have to be green, but again, there is a bizarre empty space in each one of these boxes that just doesn't make use of that space. They're not utilizing space well. It's very not feng shui, or however you say that word, because I know I've heard other people pronounce it differently. Okay, so going back, so their services, they do team building, startup. So I mean, they have some services listed with like 1 or 2 sentences. The only option you have now is to email them for more information. And here's my recommendation. So if I were to consult with the business consultants at RockConsulting.group, I would say first, you're going to need more content, because if you are going to offer consulting, you have to demonstrate expertise. So you need some testimonials. You need to tell stories. So you probably need 3 to 4 different stories of companies you've assisted and how you helped them. Those need to be external pages that are linked to in the navigation, or perhaps under each one of our services. If there was a button that said, that linked to a story about how they serve that particular service. One example. Okay, so that's one option. Next, we need that. We need that logo to be moved to the left. We need it to be larger. I need to be able to see it. The color, it needs to be white or a different color that is complementary to the tannish brown background. This photo needs to visibly show a human being or something that is discernible in a mobile format. Let's see what else. I would get rid of these icons because they're meaningless and they grab my attention, but not in a positive way. And if you're making a negative impression that this is a disjointed design, then that tells me if I feel more organized and more well put together than the website I'm looking at, I'm not going to ask that company for help. Okay? I don't have a problem with them showing photos or descriptions, although one way to improve that would include LinkedIn icons. And then if they have another social media presence professionally, whether that's Instagram, X, Facebook, whatever it might be, I would have links to that, YouTube even, Substack, anything. I would include those underneath each person. And then phone number. I think if you're going to be a 2-person shop, you probably need a phone number. It's not a do or die, but I would also have a contact form. The immediate email, that's okay. I prefer to have a contact form as a second page. And on that second page, if you have someone capable, in one of the fields that you have, you would provide a place for them to put their name, their email address, and then possibly even a drop-down field where you click on it and it gives like 3 or 4 subject line options. One can be, looking to hire you. One could be a question about your services. One could be what region do you service? There could be a few different things, and then you could write your more specific question in the blank box below that. I think that would just be a little bit more helpful. But yeah, you're going to need more content. Oh, and the one thing that I didn't mention is that, so you want stories for each service. You want to have like a story that describes what you do that really it gives vivid imagery to the way you can solve problems. But also you need testimonials, which is not the same thing. It's not just describing the way you help someone. It's somebody else's, a client's response and how they're praising your approach. Either they really loved your attitude, that you really solved XYZ problem for them, you were surprisingly efficient, you were this and that, but they exclaimed something positive about you, and you put 3 or at least 3 of those on your homepage, and you do that as social proof so that when people visit it, and the more detail you're allowed to offer from those testimonials, like the person's first and last name, and especially if you're allowed to include the name of the company that they work for, that really increases social proof. Because now I know this isn't just boiler template stuff. You didn't just make it up. I could track this person down on LinkedIn and find them, and they work for this company, or they did at the time they wrote this testimonial. And these are real human beings who really liked working with you. Now that's impressive. I mean, that's something to start with. You now have some legitimacy, and it gives me a place to seriously consider you for the first time. All right, so that's going to be it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments, and we'll be back soon with another review.